Hey, what's up? This is Joshua, live and direct, downtown Minneapolis, Warehouse District. It has been like 3 weeks since I've recorded a video. I'm so excited to be here. Even though it was an awesome 3 weeks teaching graphic design to high school students, I am also over it. I'm so glad to be back to work and on a normal schedule and making videos around garbage dumps and whatnot in 85-degree weather and all that good stuff. Today's video is about creative freedom and creative expression and all that kind of stuff. So my schedule the last few weeks has been basically 1 to 6 most days. And then a couple mornings I would teach a morning class. And for whatever reason, I have been thinking endlessly about creative block, creative freedom, where it is you choose, hold on truck, where it is you choose to get your creative gratification from. I have always had this kind of messy relationship with this idea of creative freedom and creative gratification. I've been trying to make a living basically off of being creatively gratified, I don't know, my entire adult life. That has been extraordinarily difficult. Now, mind you, it could be much more difficult, but it's been difficult nonetheless. And now I'm in a job where I am not creatively gratified. I am financially gratified, I am socially gratified, and I can be intellectually challenged, but I would be lying if I said I was creatively gratified. And it's windy. I hope this video still sounds dope, but I'm so excited. I care less about the wind today. So my job is not creatively gratifying. What has happened though is between making these videos on a daily basis, mostly, right? And sharing that stuff, using something like Snapchat to get across more ideas, using Twitter to get across ideas, all of that stuff. And then on top of that, the fact that somehow I've developed a very kind of intense creative practice of photography through Instagram. I have never been more creatively gratified. Maybe the closest I would come to this was when I dropped out of high school and I made zines. And so I had no sort of obligations, and I wrote and designed these things that were about what I thought, and they looked how I wanted them to look, or they looked as good as I could make them look, whatever you want to call it. That might have been creatively gratifying, but otherwise, nothing like maybe the last 3 or 4 months, I would say. Pretty much ever since I started this video blog. But on top of that, once I got used to it and it became an outlet and an ongoing channel, I have a massive sense of like happiness or joy that comes from making this work and making photography typically of plastic bags of trash. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should, MVA Joshua. So going into that, that's where all the creative gratification and expression comes from. It comes from things that I don't make money off of and I don't expect to make money off of. And that there is this part of me, maybe earlier, that would have thought this was a kind of defeat. When I would hear some graphic designer who would sort of resign themselves towards looking at their work as more of a service so that they could instead focus on other creative pursuits like painting or something, I could never really understand that. If I read an interview with a skateboarder, like somebody like Ryan Hickey or Anthony Pappalardo or whatever, somebody who pretty much gave up what seemed like a dream job because they refused to kind of compromise around the commerce side of it. I always thought that that was kind of a a cop out or a letdown. But now all of a sudden I am at this point where I get it. The fact that I make photographs, lots of them, for no one's benefit but my own, that I do it in a way that I want to do it. I suppose the only thing I don't do is publish as many as I would like to, because my Instagram would seriously be 40 posts a day if I follow my instincts. But I probably do 9 to 12 a day, so whatever. So it's this entirely self-contained creative activity with total freedom. And what is my thought here? I wouldn't have thought something that small and that dumb would contribute to my quality of life in such a big way, but it does. It does, to the extent that, having spent years trying to make money off of being creatively happy, now feels like it was a massive waste of time. And I know that it wasn't, but it feels that way. It feels like it was a terrible use of resources when I could have taken that same energy, found a job that was fulfilling on other levels, and then did whatever it was I wanted to do outside of that, whether that was graphic design or writing or whatever. And while I wouldn't necessarily advocate that everybody in the world quit trying to make a living off this thing that they love or they're passionate about, I am very wary now of confusing commerce with creativity, and that I don't know, I guess I'm way happier now that my outlets are things that I'm not trying to make a living off of, and that they're pure and that they're their own deal. And having had 3 weeks of talking a lot about creativity with students and about working, and just like having a lot of time to take photos and just sort of think and reflect, I don't know if I would ever want a full-time graphic design job ever again. I don't think I'm built to cede the levels of control required. And someone could argue that there are designers that have like actual creative freedom, but I don't really buy that. The minute that there's money involved, it just becomes a conversation about how much are you willing to cede or to back down on. I've come to a weird conclusion that I don't want to cede any control to anyone ever again, for this thing that I find truly valuable. So that's today's video. I hope you dig it. Leave a comment if you have one. If you have found yourself in a similar position where maybe you quit something that you cared about because you cared a little bit too much about it, leave a message. All right, bye.